Hi, I'm Ryan Benesch of the Minnesota Swarm. You're watching today's YBL Tip of the Day, presented by Summit Orthopedics. Today's YBL Tip of the Day is going to be shooting. So for shooting, we're going to focus on the main points such as follow-throughs and accuracy. So when we shoot, it's much like passing. As a lefty, I want to step with my right foot. As a righty, definitely want to step with my left foot. Okay, when we're shooting, we want to follow through to our target. So we have a net here today. We're going to try and pick the corners. Another thing you can do is maybe put a couple targets in the net. You know, just grab a couple sheets of paper, tape them to each corner of the net, try and hit those targets. Easy way to improve your accuracy. So I'm going to go over 3 different shots. The first one's going to be overhand. It's the most commonly used shot in lacrosse. It's the most accurate. It's probably the easiest one to use. So for overhand shots, stick over the shoulder, take a step with our right foot. Okay, we're going to plant, we're going to shoot, we're going to follow through. So which one of these corners you want to pick, your stick should definitely follow through to that corner. So in real time, this is what the overhand shot's supposed to look like. Again, we're going to plant, we're going to crank, we're going to transfer our power, and we're going to shoot. So this is what it looks like. Okay, the second shot that we're going to go over is going to be the sidearm shot. It's more difficult to use than an overhand shot, obviously. For this one, what you want to remember is that you're always using your hips. Okay, your stick's at your side. For this shot, you know, it's good because the goalies can't really get a feel on where you're going to put the ball, but it's a lot more difficult to actually pick corners. So perfect your overhand shot before you try the sidearm. So what this one's going to look like, okay, again, I'm going to plant with my right foot, and I'm going to aim at my target. Okay, so in real time, it looks like this. Plant, shot, coming straight from the hip, follow through to your target. So we're going to take our step, crank back, come back, follow through from the hip, obviously end on where we want the ball to go. We're going to crank back, we're going to take our step, we're going to follow through. Now the third shot I'm going to show you is probably the most difficult in lacrosse. It's the underhand shot. It's a pretty vital shot to use if you're in tight space, if you have sticks in your lane. You know, you drop it down. It's difficult, probably the most difficult shot for a goalie to read because they never know if you're going to pull it high or if you're going to keep it low. So what you want to remember with an underhand shot, it's kind of just like taking a slap shot in hockey or you know, taking a drive in golf. So what you want to do, okay, we're planting again with our right foot. We're cranking back, okay, just like a slap shot, just like you're about to tee off a golf ball on the course. Okay, and then you're following through, ending where you want the ball to go. So this is what it's supposed to look like. Okay, we're planting, coming through, and releasing. So what you want to remember on this one also is that when you pull the ball back, it's a lot like opening and closing when you're cradling. Okay, so you want the ball to come up, you want to close it, then you want to open it, follow through. Okay, we're planting, we're cranking back, okay, we're following through, our power goes through our hips, release. Plant, crank, transfer power, release. So this is what it's going to look like. So those have been your shooting tips for the YBL, sponsored by Summit Orthopedics. Hit me up on Twitter at BennyBoy21. Talk to you all day long. Oh, and then through the hole. Now, another quick tip on avoiding or handling injuries from your Minnesota Swarm and Summit Orthopedics.
Oh no! Ryan, what happened?
Jordan, I rolled my ankle. It hurts really bad. What should I do?
The physicians at Summit Orthopedics suggest rice.
Jordan, my ankle hurts. I'm not hungry.
No, Ryan, not rice. Rice. Rest, ice, compression, and elevation. Immediately after an injury, you should rest the area, place ice, slight compression, and elevate your foot above your heart.
To learn more or ask an expert a question from Summit Orthopedics, email askthedoctor@summitortho.com.